dapat talaga pakita na walang kinikilingan.
Kailangan mo talaga ng solo investigation.
No?
Hindi pa nag-showcase, karam may showcase din tayo.
May burden of evidence na kailangan pang ilabas, di ba? Anong gagawin ngayon?
Huwag proteksyonan yung mga kasama.
Sumurrender ka na.
Lahat yan, galit sa akin. Pero magdodonate tayo ng sandwich. Yung kay Abalos Torture. Alat kayo pala.
Collect and then select. Selective justice. Tinutulan ng Iglesia ni Cristo sa kanilang protesta dahil sa nakaambang kaso kay Senator Marcoleta. Senator Jinggoy, nainggit nga ba? Ex-Secretary Bonoan, nabunot maging state witness. Makaka-witness na naman ba tayo ng isang kalokohan? Senator Risa, dinedma ng German game developer. Pero ang Winry Love Team, nade-develop na ba talaga? At dahil July na, Senate impeachment hearing sa 6, matutuloy na ba? Yan ang mga isyong aming nakolekta. Iselect na ang inyong mga puna. Live from the PNC Studio, narito ang Politiko Talks. At narito ang ating mga makakatalk. Veteran journalist fact-checker Marichu Villanueva. Ang ating mga panelista, ang musikerong abogado, Atty. Jimmy Bondoc. At ang resident political expert na hindi nauubusan ng opinyon, Falcis. With our special guest, Tingog Party List Representative Jude Acidre.
Hiyalisan naman po at bago tayo mag-weekend, ay himayin natin ang malaking issue sa politika ngayong linggo. At mapalad po tayo at makakasama natin ngayon si Tingog, Congressman, anong nickname? Pwede na namin kayong tawagin,
Jude.
Kong Jude.
Jude na lang si ma'am.
Kong Jude. Kasi ikaw ang Senate Chairman Chairman ng House Committee on Higher Education.
Yes po.
And marami ding nagtatanong sa amin, ano ba ibig sabihin ng Tingog?
Well, Tingog means voice, no?
Yeah.
And as a party list, kami talaga, we are based in Eastern Visayas. We're actually a regional party.
Okay.
That is how we qualify for the party list elections, no? And main advocacy talaga namin is providing a regional lens to national development.
Pero national ang party list pag election, di ba?
Yes, the voting is national, but the stakeholders, kumbaga, the party list can either be sectoral,
Yes.
Regional.
all regional.
Or you were number 2 or number 3 ba?
Number 2,
Last
number
year.
3.
Po, last year.
So right now, there are 60 yata kayo sa mga party list representatives sa House.
More than 60 po.
Yeah,
Kasi
malaking-
20% yan dapat
Oh,
talaga.
yes.
Madaming naniniwala sa Tingog.
Oo.
Top 2, top 3,
Oo.
party list.
Pero ang irony nito, nag-pass na sila ng reforms of the party list. Di ba naipass na nyo na?
We just filed the party list bill, the new party list reform act.
Yes.
That's what we're working on right now. Basically, we're clarifying those who can participate, the formula for the computation of
Yun,
seats.
sa wakas.
Ayun.
Sa
Mahalaga yun.
wakas. Kasi
Alam-
yan yung issue dun sa Banat versus Comelec, yung kung ano-ano pang coefficient yung ina-assign.
Ang haba ng discretion.
Yes,
Ang space
yes.
ng discretion
Yes,
for both the COMELEC and the courts. No? We want to correct the math.
To
so
limit
speak.
the discretion.
Yes, yes,
Oo.
yes.
Then, of course, meron tayo dun sa legitimacy ng mga nominees. So we're looking at track records, we're looking at making sure that there's a political dynasty ban provision there. And even for local government officials from running in the party list system immediately after their term.
So ano ang status ng bill ng
Well, it has been filed pa lang and we're looking forward for it to be included in the as we open the second regular session of Congress.
Is the president likely to make it a priority bill?
It is already a priority bill.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lagi nga na bawat kongreso pinafile yan, hindi mapaspas eh. Dahil nga, di ba, member sila ng party list, ang mga
And we
House.
also want to require party lists to train their own candidates. So ang nominee dapat meron siyang level of competence, capacity na mag-participate doon sa...
Does that mean, no offense ko nga, joke ko lang kagad, does that mean ngayon walang training?
Hindi naman. But we're doing it because we want to we want to push a reform of the party list system that builds on the fact na there is relevance of the party list system.
Yes, Kong.
We don't want to be defined by the common misconception na pag party list, redundant yan sila,
Or contract.
second class yan sila, di ba? Pero gusto
kung-
namin may pakita tayo na may value yung contribution. Kasi sa totoo lang, attorney, pag pumunta ka sa Congress, ang mga naiiwan na nagsasalita sa floor, mga party list yan. Pinakamaraming batas na naipasa, mga party list yan.
Masisipag ang mga party list reps.
But the bill, does it deal with the original deepest issue, which is yung paglaom case, no? Yung parang naging lumawak siya outside of the borders of the labor, peasants, women, yung
Marginalized.
marginalized.
Well,
no?
there are
Does it deal
different
with that?
ways kasi of understanding the bill, no? Of the system, more or less. Kasi hindi rin magkakatugma. Well, when they wrote the Constitution, we have all these margins, these sectors enumerated.
Yeah.
Then you have the formula. So we're hoping to build a more inclusive party list system. Because if you look at it, in the original wording in the Constitution, it's really the inclusion that we'd want to push.
Of the marginalized and
Yes.
vulnerable.
So
Wala
we'd
nga
want
pera
to,
yung yan eh.
to push for opportunities, whether you're sectoral, you're regional or ethno-linguistic, or you're an advocacy organization, to allow them to all to participate, provided you're built on legitimacy, you have your track record, and then, of course, it prevents concentration of power.
Yes or no question lang kong, sorry, I think madaming magtatanong nito. Does the party list bill na final nyo, will it ban contractors?
Yes.
Ayun.
And not just contractors, anybody who enjoys a government contract or franchise.
Amen.
Pero ito naman ang tanong ko sa iyo, Kong. Ang Tingog party list ay identified with former Speaker Romualdez and his wife, Yeda is also the number 1 party list, di ba po? Dalawa kayo, tatlo?
Tatlo po.
Tatlo, dahil nga kayo, you got the highest number of votes. Naapektuhan ba kayo dito sa naging flood control issue na involved ang speaker?
Well, for the flood control issue, no. To be honest. Because first, we don't have flood control projects. Tingog, basically. So most of our projects are really community infrastructure, classrooms, school buildings. So medyo hindi namin problema. And many of those that we're working with in the community, ay mga constituents natin, they know what our projects are. And they've seen paano natin na ibaba talaga yung... Kumbaga, kasi ang punto namin sa Tingog, being a regional party list, is really to bring government closer to the people.
Yes. Pero parang, di ba, sa one of the reforms na proposal niyo, yung political dynasty, are you speaking from experience? Kasi si Speaker, asawa si Yeda po.
Not necessarily. Kasi honestly, when we talk about the political dynasty provision, no,
Opo.
where our support lies, that it stems from the fact that it's a constitutional provision.
Yes.
Diba? We do have our concerns about, kumbaga, ito ba'y makakatulong? Baka ito maging pareho nung term limits when we introduced it, led to another problem, diba? We have all that concerns. But because it's in the Constitution, we're duty-bound to explore a legislation that would satisfy the requirement ng Constitution.
Pero
What about-
specifically, kay Yeda, kung Yeda, fourth term na niya, di ba?
No, it's her first term.
First term pa rin.
As party list.
No. She,
Kasi regular
3
siya.
years siyang congresswoman.
District.
Regular.
Then she was
congressman.
not a congresswoman at the start of the term.
Okay.
And there was changes in the
Substitution.
nomination.
May substitution.
Pero with all due respect ko nga, of course, malarong isip ng taong bayan. Technically, if they just look at Google, they will think 4 terms si Kong Yeda. Because she was 3 years district, and then 6 years party list. Tapos yung sinasabi nyo kasi Kong, na parang nagkaroon ng vacancy,
Yes.
nag-substitute siya
Yes.
for this term.
Yes
Yeah.
po.
And with all due respect to Tingog, I think that is an unexplored area of the Supreme Court or jurisprudence. I heard may mga ibang magkakaso sana noon. Kaso hindi pa sila nagkakaso. I heard may magki-question sa 4 terms.
If that matter is praised before the courts, then we will have just to present our side
Your
and
argument.
our arguments.
Pero right now, nandiyan na kayo sa reforms ng party list, pwede na siguro may ipasok yung para maiwasan yung nagiging, parang term extension na nagagamit ng political party list.
Well, alam niyo ko yes, I agree with you yung mga concerns regarding the nominees. But then again, we hope to provide a more affirmative kumbaga reform that really focusing on the authenticity, yung credibility and legitimacy ng party list itself. Kasi kung membership based ang ating mga party list, kung may totoong officer ang ating mga party list, then you will see that there's participation, no? There's all these opportunities.
Gusto nang iwan ni Mami Chu yung topic, pero may kailangan lang ako sabihin talaga.
Okay.
Senator Marcoleta kasi is the topic of the week.
Yes.
Senator Marcoleta is also one of the reasons why you should reform the party list
Sagip.
bill. Because when he ran for senator, nag-stop siya, sabi niya, oh, I withdraw my candidacy. Tapos biglang napasubstitute siya after, I can't discuss the nitty-gritty, no? Basta na-exploit din niya yung substitution process. Wala lang nag-question. Si Rowena Guanzon, she also tried to exploit it, but somebody questioned.
Okay.
Attorney Topacio, and si Cardema. Si Cardema, napigilan siya. Yung kay Marcoleta, walang nag-question on, but actually, they're more or less the same, eh. So with all due respect, Kong, kaya ako na-mention kasi nandun na tayo sa topic, I just have to say na may mga ganong backdoor loopholes
And
that
Attorney
you have to
Jess, I'm
plug.
not contesting that, no. Honestly, I believe there's a lot of reforms that are needed to clarify. Siyempre, compared to the other positions in government, pinaka-youngest introduction ang party list system.
nga.
Diba?
1995,
So we need to really
1995
grow.
yan
Yeah.
Ang hinihingi lang naman namin sa party list sector is don't judge us simply by what went wrong.
Okay.
Diba?
Because madami ang hardworking
Correct.
na party list.
You have to look also on our track record
Okay.
and judge us on what we can also contribute.
Okay.
Now, what needs to be improved? Let's improve it.
Okay, let me
Amen.
have the final word.
Okay, Judge.
Political dynasty, best example, Rep Marcoleta, from father to son. On that note, let's go to our segment,
I object.
Patok o Putok?
Headline number 1, libo-libong ganib ng Iglesia ni Cristo, humatang sa EDSA. Patutulan ng selective justice sa kaso ni Senator Marcoleta na haharang daw sa paglantad ng mga anomalya sa flood control projects. Ang sigaw na selective justice ng INC, patok o putoko.
Si Kong Jude, ano po yan sa inyong pakalagay? Patok o putok po itong political issue na to?
Itaas mo, Kong, yan.
Yung tungkol sa INC?
Opo.
Kung okay yung statement sa'yo na selective justice, ayun.
Okay, bakit po?
Kasi nakita naman natin lahat were given the chance to, there's the investigation in the Senate, there's investigation in being done by the Ombudsman. Alam niyo, there's nothing wrong with all this investigation. Pero sana kasi maisip natin that all of this investigation, they all serve to reinforce our institutions, di ba? Yun naman ang gusto natin. Other than, of course, gusto natin makita sino talaga ang may kasalanan. Pero hindi kasi pwedeng shortcut, eh. Hindi pwedeng, it should all be on the basis of evidence. Marichu, hindi pwedeng kung ano lang yung sinabi ng isang grupo, hayaan natin yung prosesong magsimula at magtuloy-tuloy. Kasi in the end, this is not just about one incident. This is also how we value our democracy.
O to, tatanong kong kaibigan natin to kasi nakita ko to sa sa
Rally.
Facebook, sa rally.
Yeah.
Ano, patok o putok?
Kung selective yung justice,
Yes.
no? Yeah, well, of course, I ask for the kind understanding of our friends here.
No, go
Alam
ahead.
nyo naman yung aking political
Yes.
hat, no? For me kasi, no, very clear yung sa lawyers na nakakausap ko na the plunder is a stretch from the campaign donation angle. It's just too much of a persecution for me, no? And I know Attorney Jess would have a lot to say about that. Pero para sa akin, pag tila kumakalaban sa administrasyon, it's very clear na mabilis yung under ng kaso, no? Ngayon, as a final note, bakit non-bailable yung pinipili nila lagi, no? Pagdating...
Under malversation.
It's very clear, eh. For me, no? And again, we're begging your indulgence.
Oo.
So, ang sa akin, lalo na for a sitting senator, na parang siya na lang yung nag-iisa na nag-i-investigate dun sa mga Marines at dun sa kay Orly Gutesa at that time, no? So, of course, I see it as selective justice. But let's wait and see. Malay mo, totoong tutuluyan nila si Martin Romualdez. Pag nangyari yun, mababawasan ng konti yung aking pagdududa.
Okay, let's
Bongga!
ask. Attorney Jess, ikaw.
Siyempre sa akin, patok.
Selective.
Ay, putok. Sorry.
Ay, wala nang bawian.
May bawian. Putok, I disagree of course with the selective justice. Na-intro na kagad ni Attorney Jimmy yung kaya Kong Martin Romualdez. Actually, magiging debate pa namin later yung kay Manny Bonoan na state witness because apparently gagamitin daw siya to catch Martin Romualdez. So, that example alone will show na walang selective justice. The other thing I like to point out always, no, ang unang nakulong sa flood control is Bong Revilla. The DDS have not said Bong Revilla is their ally. They have not said na hindi admin si Bong Revilla. Bong Revilla was an alyansa candidate 2025. He was an ally or kakampi ng admin. At siya ang unang nakulong. So, yung selective justice, you know, of course, it's gonna be a debate, but that's my proof na hindi selective.
Okay. Ako naman, ang concern ko lang, gustong tanong three gentlemen, bakit parang nagiging powerful ang Iglesia ni Cristo sa politika ng bansa? Ikaw, Kong Jude.
Nagiging powerful.
Well, because they have ako, talagang kaya nila. They just wanna do it, they could do it.
Paano na yung separation of church and the state?
Well, that's why kasi ako para sa akin, ang mga nangyayari sa demokrasya natin, it's not just the thing that we prevent from doing, what also we choose to allow. Diba?
Wow!
Parang bending the law, no?
Philosophical.
Parang bending the constitution.
Hindi lang naman ito yung mga bagay na ayaw natin. Ito din yung mga bagay na pinahintulutan natin.
Or we tolerate.
We've allowed it to happen.
From
Diba?
bending the law to bending the constitution.
In fact, ako, kung nakikita ko, and I have my reservations, I may have my disagreements about the position they take, pero instead of putting the burden on them, I rather ask myself, why am I not speaking and standing for the principles I believe in, di ba?
Yeah, as a Catholic.
Not necessarily as a Catholic, as a Filipino for that matter, di ba?
Sorry Kong, I need to ask, has Tingog ever been endorsed or supported by the INC?
We were
Sorry, I have to ask.
in 2022.
And in 2025?
Hindi na.
Hindi na. Okay.
You did not seek them out.
We didn't also because of the differences in the political position.
It's very dangerous to talk about INC because they're very litigious. So
Yes.
kung may mga nakikinig dito na INC, I have to beg your indulgence, I have to say it, you are very well known to file cases no against critics, no?
Yeah.
But ako na din ang magsasabi, kahit kasuhan ako, pero it's not libelous naman. Kahit kasuhan ako, walang politiko sa Quezon City ang mananalo kung walang INC. Kaya halos lahat ng politiko sa Quezon City takot sa INC. What more sa national? Quezon City, mas takot kasi local, 10,000 votes, 2,000 votes can matter. Okay? So ako, wag niyo po akong i-endorse. Kung tumakbo man ako, hindi ko naman po hahanapin. I just beg your indulgence, INC. That's just the truth.
Ikaw sinasabi mo elected. Pero marami daw INC appointed.
No comment ako dyan. Doon ako sa
Okay.
elected. Kasi mas safe mag-discuss ng elections kasi freedom of speech talaga. Yung sa appointed, parang delikado.
Tapos may mga usapan pa during the rally, may mga pulis din daw, INC, kaya si Abirin ba yun sa NCRPO?
NCRPO.
NCRPO. Ano masasabi mo,
QCPD.
Oo.
Well, there was a lot of talk during the rally na meron daw mga tao sa loob ng yung bureaucratic structure of the government
Yeah.
na INC. Pero palagay ko that's just all talk, no. Ang kapangyarihan
INC?
po hindi po.
Okay.
Ang kapangyarihan po ng INC ay simply from their numbers because they really are a voting bloc.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And among any religion, sila lang talaga yung merong ganong isang boto.
Reliable.
Reliable talaga yan. And they claim it's millions, but ako from experience, I've seen it's really about 2 to 3 solid. 2 to 3 swing vote yan sa national.
Yung tumakbo ka sa Senado, endorse ka ba na INC?
No, I was not. And I was actually hoping for it, but at the last minute, ang kinuha nila yung iba.
At hindi nila pinuno yung 12
Hindi nila
last
pinuno.
year.
Oo, yeah, oo.
Ako naman, never ako magsasama ng loob sa ganun. Dahil I always respect na kanila yan. Which is what brings me to my final point na ang mga politiko, galit lang naman sa INC kapag hindi panig sa kanila. Pero tuwing eleksyon, sinusuyo nila. Hindi po, mag-real talk
Wala
tayo.
akong naririnig.
Pero sabi mo
Hindi,
nga,
that's not even
Okay
against...
din yung real talk na yan.
No,
Okay
and
yan.
it's not against any politician. I'm talking about all politicians.
Yes.
teka, by the way you describe like INC,
With due respect, ha? Oh.
Selective din sila, di ba? Kung di nga pinuno yung 12, namili lang sila eh.
Yes, but they have every right to be selective because they're not an arm of the government. 'Di ba? Ang hindi pwede maging selective, ang birokrasya ng gobyerno.
Wala kasi, may gusto akong tanong, pero wala yata makakasagot na taga-INC dito. Di ba bawal sa doktrina nila ang pagsali sa mga rally?
Ay, tinanong ko na yan dati.
Oo,
Of course, I
ano sabi
don't know
nila?
the doctrinal basis, pero hindi naman. Not at all.
What about, Attorney Jimmy, ang isa ko narinig, bawal daw tumakbo for office. Kaso yun nga, si Senator Marcoleta, INC member, tumakbo. Usually, pag barangay daw, hindi nila pinapatakbo, bawal daw sumali sa politika. Pag INC member.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Ito tanong ko kay Attorney Jimmy, baka kasi doon ka sa rally. Bakit pumasok ka sa usapan yung flood control na sinasabi na pag si Marcoleta daw ay na-charge nung sa ay mawawala yung flood control?
Again, begging your indulgence, gentlemen, no? Ang para sa amin, ang very clear na nangyayari is, this is a silencing of the Blue Ribbon Committee as under Marcoleta.
Oo.
Kasi nga, pag siya po ay pinatuloy dyan sa Senado, whether as Blue Ribbon or even just as a regular member, hindi niya talaga tatantanan yung flood control and yung 18 Marines na ayaw talaga dinggin ng Senado.
Di naman, di ba?
Well, that's what we think, as I said with my disclaimer. So kapag ito, lalo na kapag siya ay nakulong na, it is not just a disenfranchisement ng INC no, at ng mga bumoto sa kanya, but rather, it really looks like titigil talaga yung pag-uusig sa
How would you react naman na yung 8 of the bagmen, 8 of the 18 ay gagawing witnesses sa yung affidavits na gagamitin ni Ombudsman?
Oh, balita ko nga.
For Speaker Martin din yun.
Oo, tsaka kay
Against.
Boloan.
Balita ko nga, which is
Oo.
why I keep saying, kapag nangyari na lahat yung mga sinasabi nila lagi, na mga patikim,
Wala nang selective.
wala nang selective.
Wow!
Pero kasi ilang beses ko nang narinig, di ba, natutuluyan daw si Senator ganito, si Senator ganyan.
Oo.
Tapos biglang nawawalang parang bula. So you cannot help but, you cannot blame us for being a little bit suspicious.
But to be fair lang, Attorney Jimmy, may precautionary whole departure order si Speaker Martin, si Chis Escudero, etc.
Yes, yes.
So actually, meron ng signal na patungo talaga doon. They are being investigated.
You want an honest answer?
Yeah.
To me, para sa akin, that just feels like, nako, mapoproblema ako dito.
May freeze order din. May
Yes.
freeze order din, ha?
That's what it feels like to us is parang there is a power balance in play na parang nagkakaroon ng carrot and stick going on. So pag may mga ganyan, ang feeling namin, mga gentle threats yan.
Teka muna, bago ka
I'm being
mag-feeling.
honest, para po may mapulot yung viewers natin na
Teka
totoo.
muna. Ito tatanong ko kay Kong Jude kasi medyo meron daw impeachment initiatives being lined up against Ombudsman Remulla.
Oo nga, totoo ba yun?
May kumakalat ba?
Mga religious din daw ang nag-ano.
To be honest, I haven't heard. I just saw it sa tweet
O
ni
nga pala.
Wow, ako pala.
Ikaw nag-tweet nga. Sa mo
Attorney
nakuha yung
Falcis,
chismis.
pero-
Pero anong reaction mo?
Well, after 2 impeachments this year, siguro
Nothing is impossible.
nothing is impossible.
Exactly.
Yung
Hindi,
presidente na impeachment eh.
ang chismis kasi Kong, syempre, after Ombudsman Boying is filing all of these cases, including itong plunder kay Marcoleta still has many friends. And then of course, yung threat din against Speaker Martin or former Speaker also has many friends. So some congressmen are dissatisfied or yun nga, may discontent with Ombudsman Boying Remulla. Aside from, of course, this is with all due respect to Ombudsman, hindi po ako nagsasabi nito, ito lang po ay allegations na allegedly meron pa ding mga parking fee sa Ombudsman, may mga kasong hindi umuusad kung magbabayad ka ng parking fee or may mga hindi pa prosecute kung maaareglo or nakikipag-usap ka. Allegations lang po yan. That is not my own allegation. That is the
But do you know why that might be true? It is precisely how he got appointed, di ba? Kasi nga, hindi, because, no, wait.
Please explain.
Please, let me
Yeah, of
explain.
course.
Kasi nga, there was a rule already before na pag na-file, automatic ang pag-assign ng twin docket numbers.
Yung the previous,
Yes, tapos nung inatras nila by a ruling,
paano
tapos
niya nalusutan?
tapos biglang nagkaroon siya ng no pending case and he then became
Natatawa ko lang
eligible.
because I do not believe you, ha? Natatawa ko because alam ko na yung patutunguhan and meron ka namang point dyan, Attorney.
Yes,
Ito,
and it's not
tatanong ko sa'yo,
personal.
makakasagot.
Not personal.
Masasagot mo to kasi ikaw dudong ka sa INC rally. Meron bang calls for BBM na to resign?
Alam mo, surprisingly, and this is very true ha, in the previous rallies, malakas ang BBM resign na tawag. Ito hindi. Ang narinig ko talaga, nananawagan sila na huwag niyong gawin yan kay Marcoleta. It was very clear na it was, they were very honest about it. Aminado sila, we are one. We are one na huwag niyong gawin yan, selective justice against Marcoleta in particular.
Kaya pala konti lang umaten.
Uy, madami.
Oh my God!
Uy, madami
Kaya pala konti, hindi dumami yung we are one eh.
Sa echo chamber nyo ba, ang dumating parang konti lang?
Yes.
Ikaw, nandoon ka.
Madami.
Kasi may nakinig ako na natatakpan lang daw ng mga puno.
Hindi kasi, ang hindi nyo alam, pagdating sa mga rally, pag mainit pa yan, usually pag tanghali na, sa mga puno-puno pa yan. Tapos pag kumanta na ako, lalong lumalayo.
Wow!
lalong lumalayo.
Anong kinakanta mo?
Let me be the one.
Kaya pala we are one!
On that note, bago pa kumanta si Atty. Jimmy, let's go to headline number 2.
Headline number 2. Ex-DPWH Chief Manuel Bonoan nabunot maging state witness. Mahirap man daw ito sa ombudsman pero para ito mailabas ang katotohanang magdadawit kay ex-House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Bonoan as state witness. Pato o putok ko.
I-reverse ko kay Atty. Jess muna.
Okay.
Patok o putok?
Nagawing state witness, ano ang aking sagot? Siyempre, nasagot ko na sa on point nung isang araw, di ba? Sa akin, putok.
Nagpapa-scoop kasi, ini-scoop pa mo O sige, explain mo.
I disagree for now.
Okay.
Ombudsman Boying can convince me otherwise
Okay.
in the coming days. But for now, sa sariling standards ni Boying Remulla na kailangan magsoli ng pera, wala pa tayong naririnig na nagsoli ng pera si Manny Bonoan. Yusek Bernardo, a lower official than the secretary, has returned 290 million.
Alcantara.
And promised to return 1 billion. Yusek Bernardo, magkano ang isosoli mo? Secretary Manny Bonoan. Tsaka, umamin ka na ba? Nag-admit ka na ba ng guilt mo? Kasi doon sa mga blue ribbon hearings doon, wala akong alam dyan. I deny. Hindi sa staff ko lang yan. Tapos ngayon, si state witness ka pala, so may alam ka pala, di ba? All roads lead to the DPWH secretary. Kapag naging state witness ka, ibig sabihin walang kasalanan si Mark Villar. Gusto nga namin makasuhan si Mark Villar Kasi dati din siya DPWH secretary na may flood control nung panahon ni President Duterte. So, syempre I disagree. Unless may mas mataas na ituturo si Manny Bonoan. At sino yon? Martin Romualdez lang. Imposible. Imposible.
Okay, Atty. Jimmy, patok o putok?
I am so inspired pag nagiging magkakampi kami.
Wow!
Attorney.
Okay.
But you know what?
May gentleman's agreement kayo.
Yes, but my basis is law. No? Yung sa Rule 119, Section 17, tsaka yung sa Witness Protection na law, they always talk about yung not the most guilty, not the most guilty. Pero ang nakakalimutan ng isa pang element niyan is no other direct evidence is available.
Naku, ang dami-dami nga eh.
Kaya ang daming direct evidence available. So I think, this is a humanitarian move para sa...
Kasi na-hospital detention.
Dahil sa totoo ako, personally, kilala ko naman si Sec Bonoan, naaawa din ako. He's sick, he's old, and I don't think he's the most guilty. Pero there is direct... no, I mean, to be quite candid. Ako wala sana magalit. Lagi akong honest sa inyo, but I try to be very respectful
He's not
all
the
the
most
time.
guilty for you.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Pero hindi pasok yung no other direct evidence available dahil napakadami. And it can be substantially corroborated by many other eyewitness accounts.
Okay, nangingiti si Kong Jude. Ano ikaw, patok o putok?
For now,
Wow!
alam mo bakit?
Bakit po?
Uy,
First,
Praise
sa
God.
sobrang tagal ng investigation sa Senate,
Yeah.
there has never been that mention of any encounter or any knowledge leading towards any engagement whatsoever between Secretary Bonoan and supposedly si former Speaker Martin Romualdez. Second, because may knowledge about the process works. Diba? So, hindi naman Kongreso ang nag-i-implement ng projects. Hindi naman kami ang gumagawa ng program of work. Hindi naman kami ang nagdi-disburse. Paano kami ang magiging manggagaling sa maging
budget.
mastermind?
Sa
diba?
budget daw.
Kasi, ma'am, the budget remains it's presumed to be in good faith, regular, until such time it's implemented. Now, how can somebody who's on top of implementation be the state witness?
The boss, the head.
Yeah. Kayo ba, Kong, meron kayong flood control project sa...
Sa Tingog?
Yeah.
Wala po.
Wala. Kaya hindi kayo ni-mention.
Marked safe.
Oo. Except yung ako Bicol na party list, di ba? And mga
No
contractors.
But I have to remind everyone, no? Let me remind everyone, may tidbit kasi ako eh.
Okay.
And hindi to galing sa akin.
Okay.
Ni Senator Lacson.
Okay.
Sabi ni Senator Lacson, may isang chairman daw ng Commission on Appointments noon na humihingi ng 500 million pesos or something like to that amount para ma-confirm si Manny Bonoan. Akala nyo, irrelevant. Relevant kay Manny Bonoan para daw siya ma-confirm. Binigay daw ni Manny Bonoan. Pero hindi daw binigay ng chairman doon sa mga ibang members ng Commission on Appointments. And guess who? Sino itong chairman noon? Mag-google na lang kayo.
Ang tawag doon, nagidal sila.
Kinabahan ako doon.
Ako Marichu lang, just to add, no, I really cannot understand this fixation on who's the mastermind. Kasi there was already a finding in the Senate before saying, if I remember it correctly, that there is no such one mastermind for what had happened. Kasi kung titignan mo, hindi lang naman to ng 2022 eh. Goes back from previous administrations even. Diba?
Actually, ang punto ko din naman with Attorney Jim, no, yung sinasabi niya kaninang elements, one of the elements was not the most guilty. Ang nakakalimutan ng mga tao, yung mastermind, hindi yan kailangang isa. Pwedeng may
Conspiracy nga eh.
of masterminds. So, hindi yan pwedeng isang tao lang. But Manny Bonoan is one of the strongest and most powerful people na kasama ng mga masterminds. Kasi nga, sabi ni Kong Jude, hindi naman lalabas yung program of works, hindi lalabas yung infra program kung wala yung secretary.
Di ba yan din ang theory mo na nawala yung mastermind? Kaya yung sa legal point of view na ni-raise mo last time.
Basta sa akin, Manny Bonoan is one of the most guilty. So, he cannot be a state witness.
Ako, I just want to comment, no, how impossible it is for the allegedly the biggest blunder in our history to have no mastermind. That is so absurd to me, no? Imposibleng walang kahit papano a few select people with a lot of power na planuhin to kasi ang ganda ng disenyo at ang smooth ng execution.
Masterminds.
Of course.
Plural.
Of course. Yes, of course. Conspiracy, act of one, act of one.
Okay, tanong ko kay Attorney Jess, ano yung minimension ng conflict of interest?
Ni Manny Bonoan?
Oo.
Or
ba
ni,
yun?
ni Ombudsman. Hindi, ang tanong ko lang naman doon was, mayroong assistant ombudsman sa ombudsman website na Attorney Bonoan Jr.
Ayun ba yun?
So, hindi ko lang alam how they are related, di ba? Baka related, baka hindi. So, ombudsman just has to clarify that because given all of this controversy, mataba ang utak ng mga tao, kung related pala sila, 1 plus 1, i-connect ng mga tao yun.
Okay. On that question, let's go to headline number 3.
Headline number 3. Imbitasyon ni Senator Risa Ontiveros dinedma ni Felix Philip, ang German developer ng Gorblax sa sinasabing nilaro ng 2 kabataang suspect sa pamamaril sa Tacloban. Ang di pagharap sa investigasyon ng Gorblax developer, patok o putoko.
Ano ko kay Kong Jude, kasi galit na galit ng mga house lawmakers dito sa insidente sa Tacloban eh. Si Kong Jude chairman ng House Committee on Higher Education. Pero I know his love for education is...
Yes.
So, is that putok or patok?
Well, it's putok.
Yes, sir.
Kasi, we've always been talking about yung regulating yung use ng minors, no? And in most discussions, even in Congress, yung parang yung burden nasa minor at sa parents.
Yes.
Diba? Ako, sa tingin ko, if there's any future legislation, and we are seeing it now with what happened, no? The burden should be on the social media platform.
So, paano yung legislation
We have to look at, like, for example, you just have to look at how the technology works. Kasi sa totoo lang, in many countries, may mga features ng Facebook na available sa kanila pero hindi available sa atin. Ibig sabihin, nako-customize na
algorithm.
Mga developers. Hindi lang yung algorithm, pero yung features on a country-to-country basis.
Yes.
So, ang tanong ko doon, bakit hindi natin i-regulate yun institutionally?
Okay.
Diba? Why not, kumbaga, shift the burden and accountability sa social media platform mismo? And also, even with other digital content, katulad ng games, alam mo, minsan yung iba, akala nila, pag nag-games, nag-games lang. Lalo yung mga magulang, hindi tayo masyadong techie. Nila alam na pwede palang mag-usap pag naglalaro yung mga bata
Voice
sila.
chat.
And
yung mga players.
there's alam natin na there's grooming there, there's other influences there.
Yes.
So dapat expansive din ang definition natin ng digital content, hindi lang social media. Those two things lang, Ma'am Marichu.
Pero si Senator Risa tried to invite ngayon na German, pero sinab sila eh.
Basically, that's our problem. Kasi hindi natin sila ngayon makontrol. Hindi natin sila, we can't hold them accountable. And that goes even for our social media platforms. Wala silang mga tanggapan dito.
Yeah.
Now, that is the thing that we need to consider. Even requiring social media platforms to have offices in the Philippines.
Yes.
Attorney Jimmy, patok o putok?
The only reason why igigit na ako yung aking sagot is, first of all, the Senate as an institution should be respected. No? So mas dapat pinupuntahan po yan ng mga pinatatawag. But the reason why I understand why hindi sumipot yung tao, and I think is because masyadong maaga yung patawag. Ang init pa nung nangyayari at hindi pa naaaral, palagay ko kahit nung teams ng Senate, lahat ng senador, no? Kung ano talaga ang nangyayari sa loob ng game. Particularly, yung sinabi ni Rep Acidre, na grooming. Because that is a real thing. Ginagamit po yan, nakita ko pa yan sa pamangkin ko. May mga chat po na nangyayari talaga. That give very bad ideas into the heads of the kids. So dapat aralin yan, but it was too soon and it seemed like parang mainit pa, may nagmukhang grandstanding, with due respect, no? But the Senator Risa and all senators should be respected.
Okay. Attorney Jess, ikaw alam ko mahilig ka dyan sa mga teki-teki.
Gaming. Tsaka gamer ako.
Okay.
Hindi lang alam ng mga tao. Sa akin, gitna lang din. No?
Kasi alam ko nasaan
yung
ka
hindi pagpunta ng Gorebox, no? Kasi nasa Germany yung developer.
Yes.
So, by Zoom, pwede sana siya mag-participate.
Yeah.
Kaso ayaw niya. Ako, one, I don't support banning any video games. Okay? But there are times when we can strategically ban them temporarily to make them comply with certain regulations. I think ang kailangan i-explain ng Gorebox dito along with the platforms is bakit nag-fail yung age verification systems nila. Kasi may mga sinasabi ng Gorebox, pang ano lang kami, pang adult lang kami, pang 18 plus. Bakit may mga nakalarong minor?
Tama.
So may kulang sa age verification. Tuhog na din to sa sinabi ni Kong Jude, Attorney Jimmy, regulating social media platforms and gaming platforms. Na for example, sa Australia, only those 16 and above can use social media. So there are actual ways, technologically, to ensure na only those who are of legal age can access certain violent games or certain social media platforms. Yung grooming na yan, yung sinasabi ni Senator Risa, nihilistic, extremist violence, tsaka yung 764, lahat yan totoo. Hindi po yan haka-haka. So, wag po natin i-blame si Senator Risa.
Tama.
She never said she will ban video games. Ang nagsabi po noon, si Sec John Vic.
Natatawa rin si Kong. Sa inyo ba, ano bang sentiments ng House?
Well, sa House, we really are looking into, may na-file na rin na bill tending towards the direction of regulating or kumbaga exacting accountability from our social media platform, digital platforms. No? Kasi yun yung sinasabi namin. The fact na meron pa rin mga violation at may mga bata pa rin na nakakapaglaro
Correct.
shows that much is needed para talagang makontrol. Pero dapat yung burden, kasi sasabihin, mga bata di ba? Or mga magulang, hindi Kasi sa totoo lang, sila na din naman ang kumikita
Okay.
Sila rin ang kumikita sa industriyang ito. So we have to assign accountability to them.
Aabangan
Amen.
natin yan, ang legislation sa Kongreso, pero sa simula sa Monday, July 6, magsisimula na po ang impeachment trial ni VP Sara. Yan po ang pag-uusapan natin sa Politikakan. Magbabalik po ang Politiko Talks. We're back here in Politiko Talks. You are watching us at the Bilyonaryo News Channel, sa Facebook ng Politiko Talks, at sa Abante Online. Kong, let's start off with the impeachment trial of VP Sara. Siya ay sinamon na ng Senate Impeachment Court. Do you think she will appear on Monday?
Well, you'll have to ask her lawyers, no? But I really hope she does.
Bakit kung hindi?
Well, however we stand kasi in this impeachment debate, Ako, ang hinahanap ko talaga na matapos na to yung closure na kailangan. Kasi in the end, I mean, however my position is, or yung mga positions na kumukontra, it has been dragging for so long Diba? At nasisira na rin ang mga institusyon natin.
2 years na.
Kumbaga, let's get over with this. Tapusin na natin. At who knows, pagkakataon din to para sa Vice President to really defend their position. And, kasi sa ngayon, para kasi tayong, like kami sa House, from the good government investigation, from the Quadcom, hanggang ngayon, wala rin namang sagot na binigay sa amin. Diba? So, you will have to understand where we are in this debate. But the impeachment provides that opportunity. And it would be best if the Vice President would be there.
Kasama ka ba sa any impeachment process dito sa Monday? Are you
No, I'm not part of the prosecution. I'm just a observer.
Okay.
But you voted for the complaint,
Yes, I
right?
voted for the
oo.
complaint.
Ikaw, Atty. Jimmy.
Ako, may nabalitaan lang ako na kanina may caucus raw sa
Yes,
Senate.
oh
no?
yeah.
All senators.
But, yes.
10 senators attended with Lauren Legarda
Yes.
and Robin Hood Padilla as
Yeah.
representing the minority bloc.
Yes, but I don't know what that means, kung ano ang totoong napag-usapan dyan.
Masaya daw ang minority. Masaya daw si Sen. Robin eh.
Oo. Ako naman, palagay ko, talagang it will just proceed as it should. At kung magpapakita si VP,
Yeah.
I think at some point she will. I think she impliedly committed to that. No?
Ano ba mapapala kung a-attend o hindi si VP
VP
Sara?
Sara doesn't have to attend yet I think Kasi walang konsepto ng quote-unquote arraignment sa impeachment trial. Sa lower court, yung sa criminal cases talaga, the accused will be forced to appear kasi nga naka-arrest or kung hindi man, kung bailable man yan, they will have to appear at arraignment. Forced to appear. Dito wala namang ganun She can be represented by her lawyers and she only needs to appear, I think, if she decides to become a witness herself and defend herself. Lawyer naman si VP Sara. Ako talaga inaantay ko, kinikilig ako na
naman kinikilig.
pumunta si VP Sara and she defends herself. Diba sa galing niya, pakita naman niya yung pagiging abogado niya. Diba? Para naman makatingala ako, wow, ganun pala si VP Sara as a lawyer.
Si Atty. Jimmy, yung INC rally ba naka-apekto sa pag-push ng kumpleto na itong impeachment trial?
The INC rally was so specific. It was really very specific about the plunder charges of Senator Marcoleta. I don't think it bears any relation.
Pero but up to now, there are still efforts ipa-dismiss yung impeachment trial.
Ay, hindi. Kasi, alam mo, kahit ako, kunyari, abogado, kaya nga naging prohibited pleading na yan sa lower courts But you have to remember, lawyers used to always move for dismissal.
Agad.
Oo. Okay, demurrer ng evidence or something just to end it, especially if they believe their client is not guilty. Pagdating po sa impeachment, which is sui generis, wala namang prohibited motion, di mag-motion to dismiss siyempre ang lawyers, as I think they should.
Kung Jude, ang mga yung mga party list representatives ba, are they in favor?
Well, the majority of us did vote for the impeachment, no?
How many did not vote, if I may ask kong? Kasi 60 plus kayo, di ba?
Yes.
Party
Sa
list.
party list, I couldn't remember the exact number, but less than 10?
Definitely Sagip did not.
Yes, sagip din na.
Okay. BH, bagong henerasyon.
Hindi rin.
Did not.
Hindi rin.
Ano po ba dapat ang pinakamahalagang mangyari sa Monday? What do you think as a lawyer?
Monday before VP Sara's impeachment trial, but coinciding with it, ang pinaka-importanting kailangang abangan is kung may lalabas bang warrant sa umaga o sa hapon.
Warrant for what?
Warrant of arrest kay Senator Marcoleta.
Ay.
Kasi 2 p.m. ang impeachment trial.
Okay.
Kailangan na nating tahiin lahat. Kasi nagkabulbul na talaga Lahat yan, yung plunder ni Marcoleta, itong impeachment trial, tahi-tahi yan. So by 2 p.m., kung wala pang warrant of arrest,
Pwede pang umatin.
pwede pang umatin si Senator Marcoleta, pero kung lumabas ng hapon, ano mangyayari? Doon i-aresto sa Senate? I don't know. Very,
Impeachment trial yun Senate
Scary.
court. Senate court yun.
Kaya nga, ilang oras ba yung impeachment trial? That's why, I hope, Sandigan Bayan, ilabas niyo po yung warrant ng umaga. Joke-joke lang yan, ha?
paano
Huwag
yan?
niyo akong masyadong seryosohin.
Magiging 21 na lang ang senator judges.
Ibang discussion yan, i-parking natin yan sa ibang linggo kasi mahabang usapan
Hindi, pero
yan.
actually, it's a very
Pero
relevant
gustong
point.
pag-usapan
Oo, sa
natin ni
totoo lang.
Jimmy.
Kasi palagay ko talaga, ang overall na tema talaga nila, pababain ang spaghetti pababa.
Ako pinakauna nagsabi niyan, Atty. Jimmy.
Actually, yes, when
diba?
we were discussing outside, sabi ko sa iyo, alam mo, yung 24 na yan, pag ginalaw nila yan, magagalit na talaga
Pag 21 na lang, Atty. Jimmy, 14 na lang to convict. Charot!
Isi-switch ka kayo ulit, Ikaw kay VP Sara, ikaw kay...
Ako kay VP Sara.
Ikaw kay VP Sara, ikaw kay
Pero anong tanong?
Ano ang do you think, ang pinaka-effective na defense ni VP Sara?
Teka, doon sa kasi apat yung articles eh.
Yung number 1, yung
Yung 4 is grave threats. I think yun yung pag-uusapan
yun ang una daw, unahin.
sa Monday.
Oh, ikaw, ano ang pinaka-best defense mo?
Pinahirapan mo na ako dito last week, ha? At tawang-tawa yung mga viewers natin online, ha?
So,
Tawang-tawa sila.
abogado ka ni Sara, ha? Ako sa prosecution ako.
Actually, suggestion niya ni Atty. Jimmy. Pinick up
Pakot
ko
nga,
lang
boss.
In-endorse ko lang eh.
Grave threats.
Oh, grave threats.
Sa
Number
grave
1.
threats,
Ano depensa?
pass muna ako kasi I've always said grave threats is the strongest article eh.
Oo.
I've always said it's the strongest article. So ayokong ibigay yung alam ko na depensa eh. I want
Bigyan mo
the
kami ng-
impeachment to succeed.
Bigyan mo kami ng sneak preview. I know, most likely, kasama na yan eh.
Hindi na ako kailangan, Mami Chu, kasi sabi ng defense team, freedom of speech.
Hindi ka
Sa grave threats, yun ang defense nila.
Okay.
Ayoko na sila tulungan. Sabi nila, freedom of speech ang defense sa grave threats.
Oo.
Ayoko na sila tulungan. Magaling na yun. Magaling na sila.
Hindi
Yun
naman...
natin yun. I will adapt. I move to adapt.
Atty. Jimmy,
Okay,
ikaw.
so since we're not role-playing anymore, I really think the defense is there was simply no threat. Palagay ko yun ang
Actually, yan
didiin
ang
nila.
maganda.
There was simply no threat. It was not a threat. At best, it was conditional. And it has nothing to do with the condition, yung ibang definition ng condition na pinag-uusapan sa grave threats.
Pero si Kong Jude, sila yung sa good government, di ba? Na
Yes,
ano,
po.
di ba yung ano yan, yung CIF, yung Confidential Intelligence Funds?
Yes, po.
Bakit pumayag kayo na ibaba yun sa ano, sa priority, naging grave threat sa inuna, yung kayo, sabi niyo marami kayong
Well,
dokumento.
that's a decision that the prosecutors made, no, or the legal team made, no. Kasi kami, Marichu, tapos na kami after we voted, eh.
Yeah.
And that's a role.
Kayo ang
that has
well
been
documented, well evidence eh. Di ba sabi ang usapan sa impeachment, isa lang sa apat pwede nang i-convict, di ba? Eh bakit kayo
Well,
hindi pa natatried yung sa
But we
CIF
trust the
na-tried
legal
na.
team naman the prosecution team has the reasons why they should present this in that order that they decided.
Kung Geneva question, the OVP said that they were issued an unmodified opinion
Yes,
from
bago.
COA this year for the 2025 year for 4 years consecutive na. So, what can you say to that? Sabihin nila, may unmodified opinion, no? We have the best rating from COA. Anong kaso namin sa
Lawyer
COA?
ka na ni VP Sara
Hindi.
talaga, ha?
2025 lang yun eh.
Mami, Chu, ginagawa mo akong lawyer ni Sara. Wow.
Well, meron naman kasing disallowance na ni-release.
So
So they're not mutually exclusive.
Actually, yun yung question ko kung how does the unmodified opinion relate or weigh against the notice of disallowance?
Well, yung
Kasi yan ang tanong ng kababayan natin Yan ang debate. Siyempre, yung mga pro-Duterte, sabihin nila, may 4 years kaming unmodified opinion. Yung mga anti-Duterte naman, meron kaming 2 notice of disallowance.
Yung modified opinion kasi, basically, I'm not so sure if I'm getting this accurately, no? Pero it refers to kumbaga, the form of the reporting. Kumbaga, pag nagbalanse yan, at the end of the year, tama yan. Unmodified opinion yon. Pero it's a different thing when you look into the propriety of the disbursement, if you look into whether it's illegal or not, di ba? Kumbaga, pag nagbalanse yung report, yun, unmodified
Form
yun.
versus substance.
Oo, pero kung titignan mo na, kasi there are actually 3 levels of audits, if I'm not mistaken. Hindi lang yun. Kaya pansin nyo, minsan sa dulo na lumalabas yung mga disallowances.
Ito, tatanong ko kay Kong Jude kasi nabina tayo, relate ko lang sa epekto sa economy natin, itong all these things, lalo na itong impeachment. Ano po mangyayari sa Pilipinas kung matapos man, whatever ang conclusion ng impeachment trial, tapos middle income country tayo, Tayo ba mapapala ng mga Pilipino dyan?
Upper
Upper
middle,
middle
Upper
income.
middle income.
Well, ako personally, Ma'am Marichu, no, I still believe that governance, accountability is really at the core of governance. Whatever cost there is, well, of course, the economy and everything, it really serves also the benefit of building our democracy. Kasi, in the end, yun ang, dun tayo nakasandal bilang lipunan. I know there will be, you cannot deny that there are economic effects to all of these. But in the end, we hope that whatever happens is regained naman by greater trust in our institutions.
Attorney Jimmy.
Ano po yung
Na,
ano nyo?
ano
Tanong
mapapala
yung epekto ng ano?
ano mapapala
kasi-
ng mga Pilipino dito sa impeachment trial na to?
Exactly why tumututol ang buong taong bayan dito. In fact, may mga nakakausap ako on the ground na ang pagtutol nila is not in defense of Sara, but because they feel neglected already. Ang dami nilang problema, ito na yung tag-ulan ulit, tapos pinag-uusapan pa rin yung impeachment, may gera na nga, ang bahal na ng langis. That is the recurring narrative.
So kaya, kailangan natin ng closure. Gusto ko yung sinabi ni Kong Jude.
Yes, I think so. And I think also media discipline. I think we should also, kasi di ba merong window kung ilang topics lang ang pwedeng pag-usapan ng bayan, di ba? Hindi, totoo, parang 5 lang yan 5 lang ang kayang sabay-sabayin ng tao na isipin. I think we should reserve 2 to 3 on non-political things. But
Economic
rather,
issues.
yung mga bagay na sa sikmura ng tao.
Ito, tatanong ko si, laging may opinion na
Yes,
attorney natin.
Judge, yes.
Pagkatapos itong impeachment, do you think after the Senate leadership, bruhaha, makakabangon ba Senado whatever the decision would be?
I don't think so Until 2028, hindi makakabangon ng Senado. No offense to the senators I support there, no? But as an institution, hindi sila makakabangon. Kasi sabi mo after impeachment, no? So regardless kung conviction yan or acquittal, we are still a heavily polarized and divided country. And until that is corrected by elections, where there's an overwhelming new majority or a new mandate, no, magiging mahirap for the Senate to have a solid reputation because the way we see the Senate right now is so divided. Ako, I see it positive
Saka
with the current majority.
Naging Cayetano episode, di ba?
Pero pag nagligo doon, I will see it negative. That's what I mean Talagang the perception of the Senate is tied with the politics.
Okay. On that note, I would like to go to our favorite focus portion of our Politiko Talks. Ang POQ, let's join with our congressman. POQ is Politiko Quickies po. Ito po yung portion namin na inaas namin kayo kung ano ang nakikita nyo sa crystal ball, political crystal ball, o
For the
maski
next week.
economic.
Predictions next
for the
week.
immediate,
Or in the next few weeks.
Ako sa impeachment for this coming, it will start Monday. So gusto kong abangan ng taong bayan yung mga witnesses.
Okay.
We've not, kasi doon sa Congress, palagi kaming natitigil doon sa probing questions.
Kasi di
So
pwede.
this is the thing that kahit ako personally, I'm looking forward to because I still have some questions in mind that were not thoroughly answered because the nature of the proceeding prevented us from asking those questions.
Sino ang gusto mong witness na
Yun yung hindi ko pwedeng sabihin.
Bakit, sir? Makikita
Abangan na lang siguro natin.
Okay. Attorney Jimmy.
Ako po, ang political quickie ko, lalayo ako sa impeachment. I said this also last week. Nasusundan ko kasi yung si Franco Mabanta at yung kanyang paulit-ulit na pagbanat kay Melvin Matibag. And palagay ko, may sinabi siyang parang pasabog this week So iniintay ko yung tingin ko that will catch your attention as much as the impeachment.
Exciting!
Attorney Jess.
Well, warrant of arrest si Senator Marcoleta next week. Hindi lumabas ngayon, so next week yun.
Hindi pa kasi sumasagot yung mga lawyers niya, tsaka si Marcoleta. Yung
Second,
anak lang niya sumagot kanina.
ay hindi, tsaka yung justices kasi inaaral pa yung kaso. So next week pa pwede lumabas. Second, sa impeachment trial, kung grave threats ang pinakaunang article na isasalang, merong debate on whether or not the sheriff that was punched by VP Sara will be called. Ayaw nung sheriff mag-appear. Ayaw niya mag-appear. But I know he can be subpoenaed against his will. So,
Ano yung hostile?
hostile
Or
or not,
surprise?
hostile or not, he can be subpoenaed And if you don't
Basta
appear,
compulsory.
pwede kang makontempt, di ba? So, yun ang titingnan din next week kung grave threats ang sa salang next week. And of course, as Kong Jude said, ako ang tinitingnan ko yung debate. Yung heated debate na preview na ni Atty. Jimmy kanina. Conditional ba yung threat? May defense ba? Ganyan-ganyan. So ano yung ano?
Tatanong ko kay Kong Jude, sino ba gusto mong maging witness makita talaga?
Bumalik!
Siguro yun yung abangan nila ng taong bayan.
So may surprise witness
Oo, yun ang
next week.
surprise. Oo. Baka yun,
Antayin natin until Monday.
Atty. Jimmy, anong latest updates INC? Tatahimik na ba o during the Senate
No, I have-
impeachment trial, mag-iingay pa rin sila?
I'm sad that I have no idea. Ang alam ko talaga, nung tumigil na, timing pa, kung kailan tumigil, tsaka umugong yung balita na magkakawarrant na, no?
Oo.
So I don't know, will they resurface? Will they reactivate? I have no idea.
Bakit hindi sila nagsama doon sa White Ribbon rally nung Sunday?
Alam mo, even ako, I tried. Pero there are some groups that are simply felt were not welcome there.
Si Mike Defensor, may sarili siya doon sa White Ribbon hindi siya sumama.
Yeah, pero kasi, it was clearly adversarial and polarized, no? And I didn't want to partake dun sa ganon. I'm not criticizing the White Ribbon.
No.
I'm just saying that dito sa INC rally, kahit yung mga tita ko, mga pink yun pumunta sila, wala namang kaso, no? So I just didn't feel welcome.
Okay.
So, hindi naman ako
Ikaw,
para
pumunta ka
ipagpilit
ba?
ng sarili ko.
Secret. Kasi yung safety ko din medyo, I take my safety more seriously nowadays
Masyado ka na popular
If I go to a rally or not, gulat na lang.
Ay, di, sumama ka sa akin, walang gagalaw sa'yo.
Ay, imposible na ako. Grabe. Imposible.
Ibabato kita sa crowd.
Magsasalita ako sa stage.
On that note, I would like to thank our viewers for staying with us at papasalamat ako kay Kong Jude Acidre for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Honor.
And my best lawyers in the Attorney Jimmy and even Kagawad.
Pride month.
Pride Month. Opa, tapos na
Eh, nalit yung damit ko eh.
Okay. Craig at Jess Falcis, baski suspendido, marami pa rin opinion.
Of course. Of course. Kasi si Senator Marcoleta masususpend din. Dahil because of blunder.
Ay, oo nga pala, no? Pag siya na,
Yes, kaya hindi na-counted si Jinggoy at si Marcoleta.
Okay.
So, 14 out of 21. Let's go! Conviction!
okay, dito sa Politiko Talks, pag sa politika, may say ka dito sa Politiko Talks.